Hello and welcome. We're still in a heat wave here in the UK, and so I thought we'd have a bit more of just an informal chat today. Normally something happens over the week and I have a subject I really want to discuss with you because something's cropped up during that week, but nothing seems to have come to a head over this past week. But I have been thinking about some of the amazing women I've seen online, so I thought I'd talk about them today. So my name is Sam, I'm a nutritional therapist, and my aim is to help women get through the mid-years, the perimenopause, the menopause, as easily and simply as possible. And I like to share tips and hints on how to do that. But today's slightly different. I just want to have a chat and talk about observations I've made. So I like to see who's out there. Who is doing really well over the age of 50, 60, 70, 80 plus. And there are amazing women out there who are doing incredibly well. They are doing incredibly well for themselves, whatever the age, and for their age. And I don't really want to say, I don't really like that you look great for your age. You look great. That's what I prefer. But the age is very significant because we anticipate a certain outcome. By the time we're 80, we expect to be slightly frail. But I've seen women weightlifting, holding their own body weight, doing pull-ups, looking fantastic, looking, they could easily pass for being much younger if you want to gauge it by that. I'm sorry, there's some flies flying around today as well. So some of the things I've observed, I want to share those. Now, the thing that stands out for most of these women, they look amazing because their bodies are fit. They have muscle tone. They're slender. They're not skinny. Some of them are thinner than others. I've seen some who look as though they could just be in their teens. Their body shapes are so fine. And others who have clearly been working out and look like curvy women. But sensational curves. They work out. That's one of the things that's been really clear. And also it helps with their faces when they're working out. So it's not just the body, the face also seems more toned as a result of working out. And a lot of them are doing some form of resistance exercise, whether it's with bands or light weights, hand weights, or whether it's going to the gym and lifting heavier weights. And it's very much a personal choice. Many of them do things like yoga and Pilates so that they can have that sort of movement within the body and sort of stretching the muscles and the limbs so they've got flexibility and so they're very agile, they can move easily. And that's the thing I've noticed about them when I've seen them on videos. They move easily. They're not hindered. They don't struggle to get off the floor by a long shot. So the first thing I observe is they all are very active. And we know exercise is incredibly important to longevity, to our health, to going through the menopause, to all sorts of areas of life. It really is vital. So that was number one, the amount of exercise. And I also do something daily. And it's not just formal exercise. They like to get out into many of them like to go for walks or hiking, maybe some water sports as well, in the sea, swimming. So that there's a wide variety of things that these amazing women do. And I'm talking really sort of late 50s onwards that I've seen, because of my age. That's the interest, is that sort of group. The second thing is that when I see what they're eating, it's very much a fresh food diet. So it's fresh fruits and vegetables. They have some more protein than others. There's very little. There's plenty of eggs, I see. Dairy is slightly lighter, I would say. You don't see processed foods. I don't see that. I also notice that a lot of them, when they share their diets, they do seem to live in a warmer climate, and that does make some things easier. It does make it easier not to want some of those heavier, stodgier foods, because we're not having to create that insulation to keep the cold out. So that was something I had noticed. A lot of them are in warmer climates, but not all of them. And their food is fresh, lots of beautiful salads with beans, lots of colours in the food. And they take time to prepare it, a lot of these ladies. And that was something else I wanted to mention. There's quite a few points I want to mention. I'm going out of order perhaps, but it doesn't matter. A number of the comments I see, because I like to read the comments once I've viewed a video of a particular lady, and some of the comments are, well, you know, that's what you can do when you've got money. And there's truth in the fact that the money gives you some freedom, but I don't think it's necessary to look after oneself. I think what's more important is the time to look after oneself, because you don't need to go to a gym. You can do things very simply at home with a couple of bottles of water as weights. You can use quite simple things, rolled up towels to put, if you want to do resistance with the knees, for instance. A lot of it can be resistance with the body movement. So gyms aren't essential. So money for a gym isn't essential. Paying for things like Botox, I don't think any of them are mentioned. I'm not saying they've not had surgery, some probably have, but it doesn't crop up as a major thing as part of their staying young. So I'm not sure that money is a real hindrance, a lack of money. I'm not flush by a long shot, and I like to spend my money on quality food. And I've had to change what I buy as things have gone up in price. I have had to be more sort of considerate about what I am spending my money on. But I don't like to waste it on processed foods, or I don't drink very often alcohol, so I'm not spending it on that. I definitely don't smoke, so I'm not burning money by smoking. So I think time is important though, because that is one of my main restrictions on exercise. I walk the dogs every day, so I am getting that. But I'm trying various little held movements to test the muscles. The Shaolin monk kind of positions, I've been looking at those recently as well. So I think time is more important to be able to look after oneself and to be able to focus on what one's eating. You need a bit of time to establish a routine, and I think creating the good eating habits, it just takes some time. And I think that's where women can focus, but do it on a gradual improvement basis, and not try and do everything at once, because we tend to fail if we try and make a major change. So making some gradual changes and making sure the first meal that you eat of the day, at whatever time it may be, you're having nourishing food, not high in sugar, because then you'll want more throughout the day, but nourishing foods, some protein, good hydration. That was something else. I think most have said they hydrate with water. What else have I noticed about these ladies? Their joie de vivre. Yes, they seem to love what they do. Some of them are working, some are in the media, so they do need to look after themselves, so it's part of their job. But they seem to enjoy what they do and like to share that with others. Quite a lot of them like to get into the community and share what they're doing with friends, with people they're assisting, but they're active, they're not isolated, they have their communities around them, and they enjoy the connection with others. And we know from the blue zones that is really important for longevity, to have connection, have a sense of purpose, a reason to get up in the morning. And these ladies seem to show that as well, and it's different. One lady I looked at, I don't remember any names by the way, so that she had a injury in her 50s, and to go into older age without ending up in a wheelchair. She had to exercise, and from that she started bodybuilding, and she competes. So she's in her 60s, 70s possibly, and she competes in bodybuilding. And it just shows you don't have to stop as you get older. If you work your body, do it gradually, if you're not already exercising, and if you all are, don't stop, keep that movement. But the sense of purpose is really quite important. What else have I got? I've said that. Oh, skincare crops up occasionally, but not hugely. And a lot of them like to go for more natural products rather than off-the-shelf, those that have perhaps more chemicals in them. A lot of these ladies seem to prefer more natural skincare products, but there's not a huge amount on that. But I prefer the natural skincare, and I'm happy with my skin where it is now. I am showing signs of aging, of course, but my skin is in good texture, and I'm very happy with it. And then also one thing I've noticed is a lot of them, the videos I've seen, they're always in gym wear, but those who aren't, they dress beautifully. They enjoy clothes, they enjoy dressing because their bodies are in good shape. They enjoy dressing around that. They don't restrict themselves to clothes that might be age appropriate. It's whatever you feel comfortable in and what makes your heart sing. And they do stand out. These ladies, a lot of them I've seen. One I was watching yesterday is that she's a model. I've seen her modelling some of the knitwear that I buy, and she seems to love life. The video I saw of her, she seems to really enjoy it. She dresses beautifully. She doesn't restrict herself to a certain look. She enjoys it, and I think that's what's important. That's what I've really noticed. The observation I've had with the ladies who look amazing, are doing really well, are in great health, and spectacular inspiration to those of us who are getting older. They love what they do, and that's the essence, loving what you do. And I've been looking at fitness, but what about those who love producing art, who love to make things with their hands, or love to teach others? It's loving what you do. So that is something I think is really important as we get older. Not everything needs to be a chore, and we do get so tied up into duty. I'm a very much a duty first kind of person. That's my nature, and will miss out on doing things that I love to do. And I'm trying, even now at this age, I'm trying to keep working on that to make sure I do what gives me joy. Unfortunately, walking the dogs in nature is my greatest joy, so I do that every day. So yeah, I have a look at some of these amazing women online and get inspired by them, because sometimes that's all it takes to give us a little impetus to try something different, or to pick up those weights, or to take a walk out in nature. So yes, that's my little message for today, and thank you very much for joining me. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe, and share them with people who may also find benefit from them. And if you want anything in particular, any subject on the perimenopause, menopause, getting older, anything sort of longevity as well, let me know, please. I want to be able to give you information and tips and hints on those things that you really need and want. So thank you for joining me. Bye bye.